One of the hardest things about gathering each year on MLK Shabbat, MLK weekend, besides for the ways in which we haven't quite figured out how to live Dr. King's legacy, like for real. That's hard, to face that mirror every year. I think one of the hardest things is that if he were to pop in to the world right now, he would recognize it. And that makes me sad. He would recognize the world in which some people believe their worth is dependent on the diminishment of other people's worth. He would recognize a world in which there was a government would blatantly lie to its citizens and tell them what they're seeing is not actually what they're seeing. He would recognize a world in which the government sent soldiers out into cities to police the already vulnerable into submission. He'd recognize all of that. All of these years later, he'd say, wow, progress is inevitable. We have progressed. It is not the same, this world, as it was. Technology has advanced. We are the most easily distracted population in human history. Who cares about the Nobel Peace Prize? That's not what matters. What matters is that citizens are getting shot in our streets by people paid by the United States government, as they have been. Dr. King would recognize this world. John Lewis, may his memory be for a blessing, would recognize this world. He lived in this world as it is. John Lewis said at the March on Washington, by the force of our demands, our determination, and our numbers, we shall splinter the segregated South into 1,000 pieces and put them back together in the image of God and democracy. That's, by the way, Jewish mysticism. The world will be splintered and broken and fragmented and put back together in God's image. That is the Jewish mystics' way of describing the creation of the world. What is not yet what ought to be. Therefore, what is has to be peeled back so that what ought to be can emerge. Thank you for being here and helping us get to that space. When we turn and face the door and welcome in Shabbat and turn back around, can we commit to a world that Dr. King would not recognize but might have dreamed about? That's why we're here tonight. Page 23.